Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Disfigure. This is another entry in the up-and-coming horde survival genre that's been getting a lot of attention. You know, games like Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment. Well, Disfigure sets itself apart by being just a little bit creepier and more unsettling than similar games, and it does so with one very simple mechanic change. You have a much smaller field of vision than you are used to, the result being that there are an untold number of monsters stalking you in the darkness, and you know they're out there, but you don't know what they are, and you don't know where they are until they're right on top of you. Makes for a very interesting twist in an otherwise pretty familiar genre. Now, a cool thing about Disfigure is that it is currently free on Steam for anyone who wants it. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, but at least for now, if you want to just have a fun little arcade kind of horde survival experience, well, there you go. Disfigure is going to be your game of choice. Now, there are a number of different weapons that you could choose from, and that's going to change how you play every individual game, though you do have to unlock them by playing for at least a bit. I'll go ahead and do a very basic experience with the pistol. And here we are. Now, this circle represents my current field of vision. Could be monsters out here, but until they cross over this line, I have no idea they're out there. If I hit the right mouse button, we can actually change this to a cone, and there's actually a monster right there. So we'll go ahead and shoot that thing and collect its XP. But you'll notice I can't see anything behind me or to the side. So if you want to run around like this and have a long range of vision, you can do that. Or you can take it kind of more safe like this, but then there could be monsters that are attacking you from a large distance and you have no idea where they are and how to maneuver around them. So there's a sacrifice, one way or another. You either keep moving forward all the time, or, you know what, running off into the darkness might just get you killed. Not something you're used to in the horde survival genre. Now, of course, as you kill monsters, you get experience. And as you get experience, you level up, and with leveling up, you get additional perks. Some of these perks are going to lead to additional perks down the road, so you have to kind of decide how you want to build up your character. For example, you could have enemies outside of my vision move slower. Okay, that can be kind of good, maybe. Or we could have extra cone vision size and fire rate, or every 5 seconds we fire a missile which does splash damage, etc., etc. Lots of different ways that you can boost up your character. Now, when I see opportunities to increase my circle vision size, that's obviously very, very useful to me because I don't have to rely as much on the cone in order to see a longer distance away, and I still have full vision around me. It's not perfect, you know, obviously I still don't see most of the map, but I mean, at least it's something. Now, for now, we're being attacked by some very small and relatively straightforward monsters. They're just coming straight after me, not a big deal. Eventually, you have enemies that are actually shooting things across the map, or they're big and scary, or they move really fast. Oh, don't worry, you'll see. See, here's an example right here. We got some sort of a big scorpion thing. And that green thing that was going across the map down there, that's a projectile that it fired off at me. Yeah, at some point you'll have a whole bunch of those on the screen, so now you gotta worry about dodging those, but you have no idea if you're dodging directly into some enemies until, oh look, you just did. That's not so good. Ooh, flashbang. Okay, this is something I like. Every 5 shots, you fire a flashbang, which can give you some temporary vision. Very useful when you want to reveal little parts of the map and can stack up really well with a lot of different upgrades. I'm definitely going to pick this up. Does mean that having extra fire rate just became a lot more valuable to me. There we go, just like that. You saw a small little boost up. Now we can see a little bit further. Doesn't last forever, but it's helpful. For example, I really like to pair this up with something called radiation. Every 6th shot, damage all enemies within vision by 50% of your bullet damage. So pair this up with flashbang and really fast fire rate, and all of a sudden you're doing a heck of a lot of extra damage, including the enemies that are otherwise pretty far away from you. Now, every 10 levels, you get to choose a weapon perk, depending on what weapon you started with in the game. So enemies hit by a bullet from my pistol are slowed down, or we just do 50% more damage, or there's a 35% fire rate. That synergizes well with what I'm already going for, so sure, why not? Whoa, we got giant cockroachy things coming after me now. Yep, all right, and as you play, of course, larger, scarier, faster enemies are going to be a threat. Like this weird little millipede thing coming after me. There we go. Yeah. Don't worry, though. It gets a lot worse. There are bosses in the game as well, so of course, like a lot of horde survival games, the goal is to survive for a certain amount of time. I assume it's 30 minutes. Haven't done so yet in my own personal tests, but I'm sure we're going to get to do that today. Anyway, every 10 minutes or so, you end up fighting some sort of a giant boss. So the faster you can level up and get a lot of these perks, obviously, the better. Now, how do you lose in a game like this? Well, basically, you just take 3 hits. At any point in this entire run, if you take 3 hits, you are dead. I think after defeating bosses, you do get some life back, so that gets you something there, but yeah, you can't count on it too much. Now that's interesting because normally in a game like this, I would say movement speed is a very important stat that you want almost all the time, right? Because you want to be able to outmaneuver your opponents. But once you factor in that you can't see where the enemies are, movement speed can be useful, but it also can be a liability depending on your reflex speed. And you might just run into enemies, and if you do that 3 times, guess what? It's over. Now this is where I'm starting to stack up some power. All right, so I've got increased fire rate, which means I'm firing off things like radiation and flashbangs quite often, revealing a lot on the map. I've also got a lot of missiles with a perk where if they kill 3 enemies, it instantly fires another missile, hence why I've got so many going around me. And I just made it so that my radiation makes enemies explode. All I have to do now is just make it so they also leave behind some vision, and at some point I'll be able to see almost everything on the map. Very, very powerful. So you can see why this would pair up really well with the next perk I'm going to get, where every enemy hit by a bullet permanently illuminates a vision circle. The more I can see everything around me, the more power I get from literally all of my other abilities. So now my strategy is interesting, right? I'm not trying to build up a character where my bullets do huge amounts of damage. I'm simply using my bullets almost like tracer rounds so that all my other abilities can finish them off. And you can see that so far, at least, it's very effective. The more vision I get, the more powerful this becomes. That's a boss! Hold on, okay. Big scary monster over here, but as long as I've got the radiation working for me, most enemies cannot afford to sneak up on me. So far we're okay, I don't have to worry about anything. We just stay back, keep getting this sucker, don't get shot. Just trying to shoot the dang legs off of this thing. There it goes, bye boss. Alrighty, beautiful, thank you. Of course, now that we've dealt with that boss, I'm going to start getting chased by these scarier little things, these crawling little monsters you kind of see over here. And then these guys are big shooty boys, kind of Cthulhu head things. And yeah, no, it just gets creepier and creepier the longer we go. Things are faster, they have more health. Yeah, okay, now we really get tested here. We don't do a lot of damage with our direct attacks, so can we keep up? Just using missiles, radiation, and other stuff. Oh, now I'm starting to make some mistakes. I have run into some enemy bullets and stuff. It's starting to get a little bit more hectic on the screen, ain't it? Now, one problem I got when you have a very dark game like this is, at some point, the more stuff that's going on the screen, the easier it is to lose track of who I am and what's mine and what is not. So, like I've taken another hit, for example. I am 1 hit from death. Which is obviously not great. Ooh, 50% extra fire rate and enemies outside vision move slower. Well, that could be kind of nice. And we have weird new enemies that are coming after me. That thing looked like some sort of a living tree monster? I don't know what that's all about yet. Yeah, this big thing over here. What is that? Do I even want to know? Probably not. Oh, I don't even know what I just ran into, but I died. Well, dang it. This is where I'm saying, yeah. Kind of easy to lose track of yourself. Not helpful when things like radiation are green, by the way, and enemy projectiles are green, so sometimes you lose track of what you were dodging. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, we get a fair bit of credits. Credits are used to unlock new weapon types. So if we jump over here to play, then we can unlock, let's say, a shotgun or a sniper or whatever else. I think it'd be a little bit weird, but we could try playing with a greatsword. Sure, let's unlock this sucker and try the greatsword. Here we go. Go ahead and whack this. Okay, it fires off really slowly, so that's going to become a problem, but that's fine if I can increase the rate a little bit. I do believe that at least some of the perks are going to be different depending on what weapon type you have picked up. Certainly the weapon perks are going to be different. I don't know if all the upgrades are, but it would make sense if at least some of them are a little different here. Now, I could see things like shrapnel and stuff being kind of useful, because if enemies are able to get really close to you because you have a melee weapon, well, maybe having basically just an explosive cleave attack could be useful. Case in point. There we go, that'll do the job. Okay, that kind of works for me. Well, I say that, but then I ran into an enemy like an idiot. All right, this whole melee thing, I gotta figure that out. That's new. Oh yeah, this build is starting to work out for me. All right, I can just do lots of cleave damage like that with every hit. Oh yeah, instantly killing off huge enemies. Okay, I don't know how well this is gonna do against the boss, but little enemies can't get anywhere close to me. Now, the one thing I am nervous about is going to be anything that shoots projectiles at me. That's still one very easy way that I could get myself killed. All right, boss, let's see how well you stand against me. Now, I do get more powerful when I have lots of enemies that I can kill, and the more enemies I kill, the more damage I do, so we'll see how quickly I can chop off this sucker's legs. The answer appears to be fairly quickly, actually. We do a buttload of damage. I'm loving this thing. There it goes. Bye-bye, bossy boss. All right, thank you for playing. Whoops. However, I'm an idiot and ran directly into an enemy. Okay, well, that could have gone a lot better. Still, I got enough money to get something new. What about a burst rifle? Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect it to be. It's like the pistol, but it fires off burst shots. Okay. Well, I'm not going to play through an entire round with the burst rifle. I just wanted to see what it's going to look like, but that's an idea of what Disfigure looks like. It's a relatively simple game, and I will say at some point I do think that the perks can get a little bit on the repetitive side. You'd like to have a little bit more variation, or at the very least, feel like there's other ways to spend your money aside from just unlocking new guns. If a rogue-like aspect of the game was introduced, where you can spend some money to permanently increase, let's say, your damage by 5%, or your movement speed, and so on, it'd feel like there's a little bit more incentive to go into consecutive runs as opposed to just unlocking new weapons. That said, if the weapons have enough variety between them where it feels like a totally different game, I mean, hey, I'm down. And again, at the end of the day, Disfigure is a free game on Steam. So for what you're getting there, it's infinite fun. At least that's what I would say. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.